morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm just going to wait a minute or two, make sure everybody gets on okay. Hey, Mom. Okay, got my mom on. I guess we could get started. I'll just wait a second. And Sandra. Hey, Sandra. All right. Okay, we'll wait for one more person to pop on here. Let's see. Who's it going to be? Which one's coming on? Anyway, I can't believe it's Monday already. What is so crazy is I can't believe it's June 1st. And this year, oh, there's Karen. Hey, Karen. Christina. All right. I can get started now. I got some of my gang here. Anyway, I was just saying I cannot believe it's June. And I know that you guys all feel that, oh, my mom, hold on. My mom has got me large on the Apple TV. That's crazy because that means, Mom, you can see all of me on your Apple TV. We should do this really small on your little phone. I think, everybody looks better on your phone. But anyway, hi, Heidi and Karen. Okay, so anyway, I was thinking about today. I had a whole idea planned, and I'll probably do it next week. I found my Peerless watercolors, and I was going to do a demo on some watercolors, and I just didn't have the heart to do that, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about this week and show you a painting I'm working on, and then really try to bring a little joy back into our lives, even if it's for 15 minutes. And I'm going to show you a lot of my floral pieces because I know a bunch of you guys are taking my class. Starts in 12 days, and I sort of want to talk about that a little bit too. So I know that we all are feeling pretty gutted right now, and it has been a very emotional week, so much so that not that I can compare the two things that are going on, all of the protests and oppression and the negativity in our country is gut-wrenching. And I think, this weekend I was having such a hard time, and it was reminding me of that first week we were in shelter in place with COVID-19, that sort of sense of helplessness. And it's been a week. It's been really trying, and I'm starting to feel like there's this hope again. And I have a hope, and I have faith that I look on social media, and I see so many people trying to do and say the right things, and hopefully there'll be a big enough movement that we can make a change. And Terry's on. Hey, Terry. And I really have to believe that. And I was writing in my journal this morning, and I was just writing some feelings down and thinking about what a white world I have been raised in and live in still to this day. And so I really feel like one of my number one jobs right now is to make sure that my children have awareness and they're educated and they can see what's happening in our country and really try to make a change. And then I was thinking about them this morning, and one of the things that popped into my head was my kids love rap music. And I don't personally like rap music because I don't like a lot of the language. And my kids who are teenagers are like, Mom, I don't even listen to the language. I don't even care, blah, blah, blah. But they know every word. And I was thinking this morning how songs are a great creative outlet to share a story, just like paintings are and books. And they are listening to stories mostly from Black rappers who are sharing their story, their anger, their upbringing, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to start talking to my kids about the songs that they're listening to and what they mean to my kids. So it's a way to communicate. We've been having a lot of dialogue every night at dinner, and trying to make a difference. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because one of the things that I've been doing is painting a lot this weekend. I was going to do all of these other things. I was going to garden, and I was going to work on some business ideas I had. But I woke up on, I got to show you my sketch. I woke up on Saturday or Friday, and I had this vision of a painting in my head. And I'm dedicating it to George Floyd's family and to the Black community. And I can see the end, and but I'm going through it right now, and so I sketched it out. So I don't know if you can see this because there's a reflection. Hold on, let me put it behind something. Okay, it is talking about a sketch. Okay, it was on the back of my card scores, and let's see, on this game, oh yeah, I lost pretty badly. So this was my sketch of a painting I have. Okay, so when you may have a vision for an idea, it can be as rough as this. It was a ballpoint pen. I scribbled it out on a piece of paper, and my idea in my head is I wanted to start with some dark colors down here, and I wanted to break up the dark colors with some lighter, brighter colors. And at the very top, I want it to be golden and light. And I'm either going to have the words rise or rise up, or no words, I haven't decided yet, in my painting. And then this was another little idea. So you can start, hold on. You can start doing creative sketches by literally a ballpoint pen just to kind of get a feeling down. So I have a couple posts out right now. I just posted a time lapse, 15-minute time lapse. It was like a 2-hour session of this painting I have, and you've seen some of these things right here. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to also put the camera down so we can talk about it. But this so far is what I have done. I'm going to try and hold it steady. So the bottom was done with all blacks and dark blues and purples, and my brush strokes were more, I wouldn't say aggressive, it's not the right word, but they were more forced. There's some anger down here, and then eventually I started working my way up into this light. But I'm also turning it where I'm working on it, having, whoopsie, hold on, sorry, really bad at this thing, the light going this way too. So I'm going to pop us upside down, and hopefully we won't be really upside down. And I want to show you that, but before I start, I also wanted to just show you some beautiful sweet peas right here, picked this morning. And this is my new one. Well, it's not my new favorite flower, but it just bloomed. Are these? It's called Love in the Mist, and they're annuals, but they do grow really fast. So you check these out if they sell them by you. I mean, they're crazy. The gophers like them, which stinks because I can't really put every one in a gopher basket. But this is just one huge bush. Okay, so it's called Love in the Mist, and then those are my sweet peas. And Mom, this one's dedicated to you. Purple back here. Okay. Sorry, so hold on one second. I'm going to get us started. Oh, and you know what else I was going to do? Hold on. I was going to see if I can be so technical. Nope, I can't. Oh my God, I hope we're actually recording because it doesn't say it on my other computer. Okay, so I'm going to flip this upside down. And let's get us sorted. I'm gonna talk to you guys about this one painting first before I go into my florals. And I know you can't see the whole thing, but I just wanted to show you some of the pieces I was working on. And all right, that's pretty much, I think that's good enough. So I've got my darks down here, and if you look at a post from 2 days ago, there's a lot of words in here, and I used, when I was doing the words, I was a lot more, my paints were a lot thicker, so you can really see, and I did that intentionally. I don't know if you can tell on here, but the letters from the first layer are really thick, so they are, really sticking out. And I wanted that to happen. Whether you end up seeing a word at the end or you see it, I'm not too sure, but I have words, tons of words on here, and you can just go back to my last post and you can see those. But there's a way that you can just use the thick paint to really bring those out. So that's something to think about when you want to do your first layer of words. You can do it really subtly and very faint paint, and then you won't see them as much, but they're there. Or you can do this really thick kind of brush stroke. So I started down here with some darks and blacks, and then yesterday, I'm going to bring it up so hopefully you can see this. I have a really bad glare right now. I don't know if, let's see, you can see this, but I started using some neon crayons over the canvas, which the neon crayons over the canvas aren't as smooth if you're using paper. So it's sort of a texture you have to sort of, not mind. It's a little bit rough, but I did that on purpose too. And so this is some blue strokes happening in here. And I just put some more over here. And then you can see some there. But hold on. That is done with these neon crayons. So I just took my blue and I went in right on top. And you could then, if you wanted to, take a little paintbrush with some water and it will turn, smooth. But I wanted to sort of have that rough edge. And, it's just something I'm experimenting right now. I did some up here and then I ended up getting rid of most of it. But anyway, I was just canvas with a different tool and go from there. So the other thing I was trying to do is I'm trying to incorporate action and voices and feeling that hope and making a change. And so I have this sort of dark area getting, lighter, better, still lots of movements, lots of attraction. And then at the top here, I want to make sure you guys can see the top. You can see it, right? I really wanted there to be this light force coming down, okay? this is still in progress, but I want to show you where I am so far. I wanted this light force to be coming down, and I'm crazy about this ink right now. This is Amsterdam Light Gold, and I'm literally taking my brush, which I'm crazy about this brush too right now, this Filbert Princeton Art brush. What size is that? I don't even know what size it is. It's tiny, but I love it. I will open it up. Let me put that over there. I can see it making a big mess. And I am just going in with this brush and painting right on here. And I'll use my fingers a lot to blend it. So I'm not really mixing this with the white. I'm just using it right as the gold. And I want that gold. You probably can't see it on camera, but I really want that gold to be shiny. Let's see if you can see a little bit of that. If it's shiny or not. I'm not too sure. So I have that happening, and then I'll sprinkle a little bit of the gold down into here. Like there's some here and here, because I sort of want this to tie together. And so right now I am debating putting the words rise here so that we all know that we need to rise, or rise up, or no words. I'm still thinking about it. So anyway, that is my painting so far, and I'm glad you guys are following along because I'll keep posting that. So I now want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of my floral pieces. And I have quite a few that I have been doing over the years. Let's see if I got it centered and I'm all good. Let's see, let me just, hold on, okay. So I started working on these last year, and this is a small canvas, I believe. Let me measure that. I think this is 10 by 10. Hold on, I'm gonna measure it right now. I'm trying to find a ruler. Oh no, this is 12 by 12. I can tell right away. So this is a 12 by 12 inch canvas. It's got a 1.5 inches of the depth here, which I love, love, love. And I liked working on these. I liked working on these because they're really fun because they're little and I can sit at a table and just like work away. And so what I would do was I would work on a few small ones at the same time, and I would build up my backgrounds. And at this point on the small pieces, I'm really not thinking too much about what the composition is. I just paint away, and then all of a sudden I started creating flowers. So here's a few little fun things I wanted to show you. I love creating this sort of like a seed pod, you know, so I'll sometimes I'll have my, can you see that down here? Yeah, sometimes I have my stem coming from the bottom up, and sometimes I have my flowers floating. So I like to make a mixture of both of those. So this is sort of like a little seed pod I have going on, and I don't have any petals on there, and you'll see that from time to time. And then this one, I don't know if I even like this or not, but this is like this crazy lotus something flower. and then I love making these sort of organic shapes and more seed pods. And this in the corner says trust. A lot of times I'll go in and I will scrape in words. And we can check out the sides on these aren't even finished. I started them, and I think I had so many of these paintings at the same time. I just never got to it. Okay, here's another one. This one is I'm sorry if my internet's going in and out too, you guys. This whole is my mostly purples. I really like finding colors that you wouldn't really think of painting together but look amazing together. So I love the purple next to the orange. I mean, who would really, it's not something, this lime green with the purple. These two colors are so fantastic together. So when I paint, I then start to think about color palettes that have worked before that I really like. Somebody was my color palettes, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open the door and hopefully we'll get a better connection. Catch a thing. I don't know. I know AT&T really can't come out to my house quite yet. We're still not allowed. But okay, so I've got my lime greens and the purples. I also really like these blues. That's that turquoise phthalo blue. And then you can see in here the little skewers, little tiny dots. There's a lot happening on this one. And this is another sort of flower shape I like to do. I have no idea what we can call that. It just goes like that. And lots of little dots and stuff. And again, on this one, I'm starting to do my sides. Haven't quite finished those. That's why I encourage everybody to paint these at the same time. So this was one that I had not done that. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to go big to small. Okay, this one is one of my favorites. I really love this orange and pink. Orange and pink is another combo that I paint with a lot. And, you know, just experiment with the sort of combos that you guys like. And it's really fun to just kind of see what you would think would work together. There's a lot of inks in here, and you can see, I'm not sure if you can see actually, but this is where I go in and I blend with my finger. And what happens is the canvas, texture of the canvas really creates these little tiny dots, which are so much fun. And then I have some skewer marks going on here. So this one I really like. This one I gave a little bit more attention to on my sides because I'm bringing the petals down, which are fun, or bringing the petals up into here. And then these are some of the sides. You can see these are more like a block layer, where then I would go in and I would bring more details into them. But I try to at least cover my sides while I'm painting, and then I can always go back. And this one, I'm trying to think, like this one, I didn't really have my composition, but what I wanted was my flowers to flow down like this. It really reminds me of Hawaii and sort of very summery, with especially with the pale green and this pale blue. I think that's so pretty together. And then every once in a while too, I will add some darks into my paintings just to really make a nice contrast. So that's another one. Okay, and this is the last big 12 by 12 square. So I don't have any art shows this year. So normally I would be, you know, popping these into my art shows and selling them. So I have them all here to show you guys, and maybe I'll make prints of them. We'll see, or maybe I'll sell them online. But these are all the same size, 12 by 12 with 1.5-inch border. So I couldn't tell you which ones I did first, but then what I started doing was experimenting with doing these white lines that create flowers. So I'm using a very small brush like the one around here that I already lost, and white ink. This is the white titanium. And I just dip in and I just paint like this. And then I just really like how you see the outline of the white, but it also creates the flower shape. And then you get what's happening underneath, which is a lot of fun because those are some of the early layers. And I love doing these little dots. These remind me like of little tulips. So anyway, that's that one. Oh no, I don't even want to show you my sides because look, I'm so naughty. Not quite done yet. You can see they're work in progress. Okay, so then these are some of my smaller ones. So I think this whole thing would fit in here, no problem. Okay, so this, oopsie, these are 10 by 10s. 10 by 10s with the same depth, 1.5. Oh, well, I'd say it's 1 3/4. Well, that's weird. Let's see. Okay, they're all 1 3/4 in depth. And this one is one of my favorites because I love how the red and not painting the inside, right? So in this one, sorry, I'm going to go back to this one for a second. So in this one, I did the white line so you see what's underneath on all the petals in the middle. And then on this one, I did a solid color, no outline, and then the inside of the petal was not done so that you could see underneath. Just a different way, different technique. I like to mix them up. So I really liked how these worked, and I love, love, love the red and this green. So pretty. So anyway, that's one of my favorite combos. I have so many favorite combos, but I really like that one. And then here's this wonky flower again. I don't know. I definitely like these red flowers over these flowers, so who knows? I could change this whole thing. The other thing that I like to bring into some of my work are these half circles or arches. I'm doing that on my current painting where I'll pick maybe one side of my painting and just start to do those lines. And I have some of my flowers going over onto the bottom piece. I love how the subtle inks on top of inks. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, I have some demos where when you paint with ink on top of acrylic thicker paint, you can get a really beautiful transparent look and feel. So these dabs right here are painted. They're like medium body paint. And then I'll take an ink and I will take my finger and rub it over. And you get this beautiful watery fluid look. So like that. And I always throw some hearts in. And here's another flower there. And here's some of my edging where I bring the petals around. So on the half circles on this side, I will eventually finish those there. And then there's some more petals and this is like a circle that's sort of wrapping around. And some hearts again. That one was a fun one. All right, so then I've got another one of those, 10 by 10s. And if you guys have any comments, I am going to go back and see them all. I thought I could be so cool and be commenting on my other laptop, so I don't know what's happening over there. It's decided not to be nice, but here, I've got a few things. I brought the red flowers back into this piece I liked. And again, I'm not too sure which one I did first, but I brought them into both. And these sort of little seed pod flowers again, incorporating some hearts and these wonky flowers. Using the skewer to really like pull up some paint underneath. There's some sides there. Not quite done. And they don't have to be too complicated. They could just be, whoopsie. And a lot of times too, like my paintings could be, not this one because of that, but you know, you could turn them around. I have one I'll show you that you do that with. And then this one is one of my favorites. It's a busier, but let's see, there we go. I don't know what, this one was done before my Colorful Joy class. And so a lot of my Colorful Joy class, I incorporated some of these things in here. I love how happy this one makes me feel. I think about when I was younger, it makes me feel like a pattern. It makes me feel like the 70s, not that I was, I'm 50 something, 4 or 3. But it just makes me feel like I think I was, you know, I was 8 and 9 and 10 in the 70s. And it's just fun. It was like a fun time. And I just feel like this was, just reminds me of that. I don't know why. I'm a little crazy. But I love how the bright colors, the pinks and the reds and the oranges. I started probably with some blues and I wanted to make sure that stayed. There's a lot going on in here. And I'm okay with that. You might think that might be too busy. And if that is, then you just tone down some of these dots and patterns by either making more ink marks or covering it up with some solid colors. But I like the funness. I wanted this to be fun and joyful. I don't know if I would do a huge piece with this much energy. I think I like it because it is a smaller piece by 10 by 10 that I can handle it. You know, this would look really cute in a bathroom or in a small little place. So one of the things that I like to do on here that I did on here that I will be doing in the class is that once I did some solid leaves, petals, I went in with some really fun patterns and just sort of pulled out some of that energy onto the petals instead of keeping it solid. And these are little peekaboos, so there's paint underneath there. And I just like how the colors all work together. I think I used every single color in the rainbow except black, I think. There might be some Payne's gray in here. And then I started working on the bottoms by bringing the stems down into here. Love that magenta and orange together. Even the lime and the magenta. So pretty. The blue and the orange. Just colors you would think, what the heck? And they all go together. So bringing some of the circles down. Here is the flower, and then I wanted it to be this on the top, and I intentionally want the petals to be the different color just to make it different. And that's the other side. I think I showed you all sides. So this is one that I really like. So which leads me to the painting of the one that we're going to do in the class. So here is my painting that I love all of these colors together. Okay, so this canvas is 11 by 14. Okay, and the reason, and it's 1.5 inches deep. The reason that I chose this size is only because I wanted the lessons to fit in the camera. And if you guys are taking my class, You can get any size canvas you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. I'm going to teach you every step of the way, but you can make your composition any way you want. You could put it on a square like this. You could put it on a bigger piece. You could get a 16 by 20, which is a great size, and just do everything we're doing and just do more of it. So instead of maybe 3 or 4 flowers, you might have 5 or 6 flowers. And it's just to show you the techniques and to make it fit. So that's why I have an 11 by 14. And on my supply list, it doesn't tell you the size of the canvas, and that's my fault, but really it's any canvas you want. And it could also be one that doesn't have a thick depth to it. I just happen to really love painting on these sides. So if you don't have one, don't even worry about it. And if you have multiple canvases, even better, then you can make multiples. So on this one, I'm going to take you through everything, but I incorporated all my favorite things in these paintings, okay? I put into this one. So the floral pieces that I just showed you, I did over a year ago, and I started finding things that I really love, and I wanted to bring them into this piece. So you've got the outlines, the solid flowers, the flowers and the petals that actually have some patterns on them, some solid ones, and all my color combinations. And here are some of my sides, the drips, so much fun, little tiny details, and oopsie, let me make that straight. The details and all of the little fun things are on here, and I'm just trying to think of the other thing I was going to tell you, and I just blanked. So anyway, I wanted to show you this so you know what type of canvas to get. Also, that it could be anything. Also, these are colors that I chose. They are not the colors that you need to do. You could love earth tones and oranges and browns and olive greens, and I have many friends who love to paint in those colors. Those aren't the colors that I love to paint in, so I just chose colors that I like, but I want you to know that you can be as creative as you want with whatever color palette you have, because at the end of the day, I'm teaching you a process that hopefully you will continue to work with and find some fun in. So that is this one, and I'm going to bring us back around, and hopefully I'm in the right direction. Okay, good. There you go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Ooh, I'm always like a little bit messy when I flip back over. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I will be calling AT&T. I actually wrote out a couple little notes. I wanted to make sure I went over that with you. So if you have any questions on the class, definitely text me, email me, message me. It's going to be really fun, and then you could paint as many canvases as you want, so leave me a message. I also want to do a shout out to my good friend Karen, who is across the pond in the UK, and I just want to say, hey Karen, I'm thinking about you. Her dad is diagnosed with COVID-19 and just sending you lots of good healing thoughts. I also wanted to just remind everybody that if you're a creative soul, which I'm sure you are all creative in your own way, no matter what it is, sometimes when you have some feelings that you can't express, creating art, creating words, creating music has been extremely helpful. It has really, really helped me out. I still get those moments of tears and frustration when I see the news media, and I don't want to close my eyes to that. That's the thing. I don't want to shut that out because it's so important. I don't want to pretend it's not happening. And so I'm trying to deal with the balance and painting this weekend, painting on this painting for, all of the Black community, all of the people who are hurting so much, and what we can do to help has helped me. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I will be back next Monday. And I think our class is maybe next Friday, a week from Friday. But I will be doing Facebook Lives in our class private Facebook group. I'll also continue to do lives on